Hey, everybody, let's update the MLB algorithm. I know we're all busy, so let's try to do it fast. Day one was a winner, not as much of a winner as we would have liked it to be, but it was a winner. Um, there was some choppy things up here with this Angels loss, but whatever. We won't talk about yesterday. I did that in another video already. Let's talk about today being Friday. So, how do we update this thing now that we start to have new season stats now? Well, let's go in order. I'll show you. I already did most of it, so we'll just simulate it. Sports betting, MLB odds, you export the Excel here and you paste it. You copy it and then you paste it. I usually match as destination and formatting, and that'll get the time accurate somehow. So it's a short day today, so we put the odds in there. Now you go over to the matchup sheet next. Okay. Let's go. Do this. Let's go to the matchup sheet next. You'll have it laid out from yesterday, which will have more games than today. Don't just delete this because I think it'll make an error. If you accidentally do this, I think it's going to screw up. Maybe not. Thought it created a reference error. Yeah, it does. Can't do that. So the way to do that without a reference error is you go to clear area down here, you highlight all this, then you hold the fill button and you pull it up to right here. That will do it without creating the reference. And that makes it not break when you do it every day. So when you copy them down, you grab a whole set of two and you go down like this. That's how you do it. And you get rid of it by getting stuff that's clear and pulling it up over it. All right. Now that we have that, looks like all the pitchers are on the right teams. We've got good stat numbers. So what else did I do to update this? Well, I went to the lineups tab, cleared this area out. If you watched the video yesterday, I started going to all of the areas we need in the fantasy sports section of MLB. I grabbed the lineups, which are all expected. None of these are confirmed yet. So we don't have the perfect lineups yet. But I'm going to release this video to everybody because I want to talk about a lot of things and it's a short day. Then you go over to stats. Okay. Now in stats, there are going to be actually 5 sheets you grab. You're going to grab this one for basic stats, which is all players, basic stats. Grab this one. When you grab that, you're going to paste it in the batters pivot. So we'll put the batters right here. You're going to paste it in the batters pivot, and now we've added a whole new section, which is this section right here. This is what the export was out of RotoWire, was just these areas. You don't need the titles because the titles you already have up here. But you're going to paste it starting right here. And I put 2023 there. So we really need to pull down a bunch more. See what I mean? We need to pull down a bunch more areas here because we're going to add hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of players. You may just set it up now. And that'll allow you to not have to update this every single time you repaste. That's perfect. Now I set up an anchor over here. Okay, and the reason I did that is you can hold the control key down and the up arrow to get right to the spot where you need to repaste over it every day. This is going to have this one from yesterday. You're going to want to paste tomorrow's in here, right here, in cell E690. You could also call it a range so we could get there, but let's just put the anchor right here and this will work because you're not going to paste over the anchor every day. So this is the 2023 player stats are now in here. And we're going to do something in the lineups tab to incorporate them a little bit. I actually already did it. What we have is we have a way of blending the 2022 stats for the player and the 2023 stats for the player because everyone has a rating now in 2023. This is going to be 2023. So this is the current season. Some of these players haven't played at all, but some of them did, and they had some results in their first game. We're going to incorporate them at the level of 10%, meaning we're splitting this up 90% from 2022 and 10% for 2023. That's what this formula means. And we're going to change that as we get more mature 2023 stats. But as for right now, that's the way we're going to do it. And that's going to give everybody a slightly different C-score, which can be noted in our batters pivot sheet, batting order pivot. call this, order pivot, I guess. Refresh this, and it shows all our players on these teams. Don't worry about there being a number 2 here. That's because we're including both 2022 and 2023 stats. This is good now. So we've adjusted our lineup factor to slightly include current season stats, which is going to give us a little bit of an edge because how players are playing this year does matter. I always think the more recent the stat, the better. So you always want current season. So we've done that. Now, what else can we do today? Because we have other stats that came in. Well, we have this area in the advanced teams, the team stat category, and it's all 4 of these. Basic pitching, which its default is basic pitching. You do that. Then you go to batting basic, then batting advanced. Sorry, not pitching. Basic, batting advanced. Do that one. Pitching basic and pitching advanced. So it's these 4. Where do those 4 go? They go in the area for team batting and team pitching. And I have added them below last year's stats right now because these ones are super, super, super limited, basically. And we're not going to worry about them yet, but there would be a way for us to kind of change them around. For example, if we grab all of 2022 stats and we harness them just so that we have them to save and hang out and put them below. We do that. What that does is it allows us to interchange both the current year stats, which I've pasted right here. This is the advanced. You can see they're labeled up top here. It's advanced pitching is this one. You start pasting it right here. All right. And the basic pitching is the one over here. And you start pasting it right here. The same logic applies to the batter sheet, which is same deal, which is why I've pasted it below. So I brought it in, but it's really not very relevant yet because it's only 1 game. So you don't want to use the team stats for 1 game. That's too skewed. So we'll continue to use last year because it worked pretty well yesterday. But we have it now. We're eventually going to overlay, these ones. We're only going to have 1. It's only going to be the current season. And we'll probably adopt that one, I would say, like 4 or 5 games into the season. Like we're going to do it pretty quick because you want to start using it because the compositions of the teams have changed. So nobody needed to be updated on the lineup sheet. Everyone's name worked. There were no errors over here in either of these columns. So that's good. So I think we can actually, that's basically the update process. So in summary, all right, we did odds first. Then we cleaned up our matchup sheet to get it the right number of games. Then we went to the lineups tab and pasted this thing and refreshed this pivot. Then we went and grabbed batter player stats for 2023 and pasted them right here. Then we went to team batting and team pitching and pasted the new stats, which we're eventually going to put right here every day for these 2. So we're not incorporating it all, but that was it. That was the process. So we just went through all the tabs kind of in order, and we didn't have to do anything with the pitchers. Oh, because I didn't grab pitching stats yet. I didn't do pitchers yet. We're not going to worry about them because nobody's pitching 2 days in a row, but we're eventually going to anchor them right here. That's what we're going to do. This is where our anchor is going to be. And we're going to do 2023 stats. I mean, we could grab them. Actually, they do exist. Where are they? They're going to be under basic stats. Pitchers. Sorry, yeah, that's the other one. The other one I forgot to do. Eventually, that one is usually done right at the beginning or right after batters. So you're going to grab this one. And you won't be able to see that open up. But I want to show you how we put it in there, what we do with it, because this is the good logic on how this works. And then we're going to look at today's games with expected lineups. So I copied the area we need from the export, and it goes right here. And all these are 2023 stats. and they go way down, which is good. So we don't have to add too much yet, but we will eventually. We'll have to add formulas all the way down here. So we'll now know by color coding our year, which year we're working with. So when it's green, it's going to be the current year. And when it's 2022, it's going to be the other year. I'd put an anchor right here so you can always find this area where you need to repaste every day. All right. And if we need to add any new players for previous year stats because they haven't pitched at all, we're going to start doing it like right here. And just even set it up so that we know we're going to be doing some. Because for sure, there's going to be new pitchers that come in here, and we'll have to put whatever league they're in right here. All right, so we've added our new pitchers for the new year. And so the way that rolls into everything is now we can actually finally look at the matchup sheet, and we can run our macro here in a minute. So whenever we want to use the pitcher's current year stats, we'll just change this to 2023. But none of these guys are going to have 2023 stats because they're making their first start of the year tonight. Okay, so that was the update process, guys. I mean, that's basically how you do it. I'm going to do a lot of little nitpicky things over the next few days to combine stats and stuff, but that's the basic process with all the sheets. And now you have a matchup. So what does it say? Well, we're looking at combination number 25. And I'm doing a lot of work with combinations, so that's a whole other discussion about what are the best combinations. But based on yesterday, and I want to limit pitcher win percentage because I don't think it's very good. So we have a new set of things here. Well, instead of looking at yesterday, because that was yesterday, let's look at today by clearing out the browsing, the testing cube sheet. And it's connected to the matchup sheets after we run the macro. So all we have to do now is we just run the macro. U macro run. And this is going to run the 25 combination strings that we have. It's going to put them in the testing cube. It's showing them up here. It's running through all of them. I have some interesting ideas how we can show that as we start to mess with combinations here over the next couple weeks. Or 10 days or whatever. So it's done. It ran the macro. And all you have to do now is refresh the browse testing cue sheet. And you've got picks for the day. All right. With all of our combination strings. So this is the order. It's Seattle over Cleveland. It's Dodgers over Arizona, Mets over Miami, Houston over the White Sox, San Diego over Colorado. Look at that line being way down there, though. So it's really saying these four are all over 10% margin. It's thinking you're probably going to be profitable going like 3-1 on these four. Maybe you have a 2-2 day and don't make money. That can happen too. But they're all favorites, unfortunately. So the algorithm is just kicking out favorites. That will start to change when I start to migrate into 2023 stats. But it says these four on the round robin. So there you go. And straight bets on this. Why are you expecting to go 3-1? And is there a pick of the day? Well, Seattle's apparently the pick of the day with the expected lineups that we have right now. And the Mets are the best line on here. But it thinks the Dodgers will also win. The Dodgers crushed it in game one, right? So that is how you do it. That's how you do it. And I'll listen to it if I were to wager, which, you know, can't be wagered. But if I were to wager, I believe that the algorithm says just that, which is these four guys here to win. And it's expecting to go 3-1. Why? Because generally, when we start to look at history, it will do about 3-1. I've seen 75% or more hitting in these games above margins oftentimes. Yesterday it was only 9-6, but in certain iterations up top, in the Angels game, it kind of said watch out for that game, so you can almost avoid it. So it did have like 5 out of 6 wins, but if you don't look at the Angels game yesterday. All right, good luck, everybody. That's the update for day 2, Friday MLB. I'm sure I'll be back on Saturday as well, but go purchase a copy. I'll make a subscription that's a little less if you just want one copy of the file and then you want to follow along and don't want to be on the email list every day. I'll bring that price down probably to 100, but it's worth 100 if you want to start updating this, get a subscription to RotoWire and really start doing it. All right, good luck everybody. May all your picks be winning.